Dr. Joey Faucette for Faith Positive TV. Let's talk this week about why it's always too early for you to give up at work. Micah 7:7 says, "But me, I'm not giving up. I'm sticking around to see what God will do. I'm waiting for God to make things right. I'm counting on God to listen to me." You know, some days the rats win at work, don't they? You race as hard as you can and you still feel like giving up. You're not immune just because you're a Christian at work, are you? Micah says it's always too early to give up at work. Why? The challenging work experiences that depress, deflate, and would defeat you are simply mile markers on the highway to discovering what God's doing in your work. Micah says that instead of giving up, persevere. Micah says rather than give up at work, persevere until you see what God will do. The real challenge in giving up is you finalize the current results. Whatever scores up on the board, regardless of what inning it is, becomes the final score. And yet you really don't know what the next at-bat brings, do you? Everyone loves the 10th inning walk-off home run. And yet what if the team who wins in 10 innings gave up in the second inning when they were down 5 runs? We see through a glass darkly, right? You really have no idea what will happen next at work unless you give up and finalize the current results. When work is pressuring you to quit trying, resist it and persevere until you see what God will do next. Patiently wait. Micah says rather than give up at work, patiently wait for God to make things right. Tough to do, isn't it? Especially when the injustices stare you in the face daily at work. The interesting reality about being a Christ follower in the workplace is you're required to drop your stone and walk away from situations where you're tempted to make it right on your own. Justice belongs to God. When you take justice into your own hands, invariably it's ill-timed at best and inaccurate at worst. God's perfect timing for making things right isn't synced with your clock. You want justice done your way right now. Fix that coworker who cheated you out of a commission right now. Show that boss who's really boss immediately. Shut up that customer who won't be pleased post haste. Execute justice your way in your time, right? And yet God is God and you're not. When you stop and think about your own sins that need to be made right, it's a really good thing God is God and works on a different timetable, right? When work is pressuring you to quit trying, resist it and patiently wait until God makes things right. Promise. Micah says rather than give up at work, count on God's promise to listen to you. The challenging work experiences that depress, deflate, and would defeat you can isolate you, make you think it's you versus them at work. Rather than retreat, move your feet forward. Reach up and out to God. Maybe you can't talk to anyone at work about it and you don't want to burden your spouse or friend. Talk to God. Say what you wish you could say to your coworker, your boss, or that customer. No holds barred, bare knuckles praying. Give it all up to God, the good, the bad, and the ugly. God's heard it all before, and God promises to listen until you're through talking. When work is pressuring you to quit trying, take God up on the promise to listen to you. You see, it's always too early to give up at work. Persevere until you see what God will do next. Patiently wait until God makes things right. Claim God's promise to listen to you. Then go back in the game of work and increase your faith with greater joy at work so you love God and others more. For Faith Positive TV, I'm Dr. Joey Faucette.
Get your free sample chapters of Dr. Joey's #1 Amazon bestseller, Faith Positive in a Negative World, at getpositive.today/faith-positive.